So Zach, how does it feel to finally have the new album out in the world?
It's good. It's always a big relief to finally have a record out after all the build up, and especially since we had to kind of postpone the release by a few months there, kind of a couple months back. So it's finally good to just have it out now, and everyone can finally just get to listen to it, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. It's grown up and left home.
Yeah, I presume the delays were all COVID related and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much the record plant where we got all the vinyl press shut down for a while there, so we couldn't actually get the records physically made. So we had to hold back for a couple of months there.
Yeah. When did you actually start recording the album?
We recorded the album in like May last year, I think, something around then. So it's been a while. We've had the songs there for a long time. And then, yeah, the record was kind of finished and mixed and all done maybe, I don't know, August last year, probably this time last year. So we've been waiting for a while, as you usually do when you put a record out as a band. You've got to wait ages. We probably spent about 3 weeks in the studio, and we spent a lot more time before we went into the studio writing and working on the songs. And we had a lot more songs ready to go when we went into the studio. So I guess all of that came, and then it all came to fruition for, you know, a bigger sounding album and a more precise album that I think, yeah, we had the time to really focus on what we were doing and really make sure we did it properly.
Yeah, whereabouts did you guys record it?
So we recorded it in Seattle at Robert Lang Studios. So it's the same studio that we did the last record blend in. So we worked at the same studio and with the same producer, John Goodmanson. He came and helped us out again. So yeah, it was kind of good to, like, we were comfortable again in the studio and could just get straight back in there and knew where everything was and knew where the toilet was and, you know, could just get straight back in and, start making the record.
Yeah, is there something about Seattle in particular that you really like, or is it just more the studio?
I think so, yeah. I think it's kind of a bit of both. Like, the first time we really went to Seattle was to record the first record we did there. And, we just kind of fell in love with the place then. And John is a Seattle native, so he showed us kind of all the good spots and really showed us where to go. So I guess, and then it's probably the city in America that we've spent the most time in now. So it's pretty much like our second home over there. So we just feel super comfortable there now. And, you know, we have some friends there. We have a lot of friends in Seattle. So, yeah, it's like we just love going there.
Yeah. We talk about John, working with him again. What's your favourite thing about working with John?
I don't know. I guess he kind of doesn't take himself too seriously or doesn't take the job at hand too seriously. He'll kind of just let us go. He won't really say much or won't really, you know, give us much direction. He'll kind of just let you go, and he'll just like sit in the back and just let it all play out and let it work. But if there's something that needs to be changed or he has an idea, he'll just kind of slip it in without you really, like, you know, knowing. He's got this great way of, like, you know, changing a lot of things, big ways with such subtlety.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of just figured out our sound perfectly for the last record. So he was the one that kind of showed us how Hockey Dad was supposed to sound, I think. So he's the best at it.
Yeah. Do you have an example of something that he's kind of subtly brought in that you didn't quite notice at first?
I think the whole concept of the song Itch, when I first wrote that song, it was quite quiet and, it was a pretty soft-spoken song, and it wasn't really very bombastic or, you know, how it is now. And I think once we got into the studio, John kind of took over the reins of that song and kind of introduced all these sounds and kind of pushed us in that direction to where it finally found its feet as this, you know, big, loud, fuzzy, garage, like, grungy song. So, yeah, there's one there.
Yeah. Would you say that's the one that's kind of gone through the biggest change?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. There was a lot of songs on the record. Like, we went into the studio with about 30 songs that, you know, we were looking at trying to record. So he definitely helped us cut songs that we, you know, were like on the fence about and we really didn't know what to do with. So he was kind of good, made us cut the songs that we didn't need and, yeah, changed up the ones that we thought were good enough, and then he made them better.
Yeah, does it get difficult at the kind of final 15 songs, trying to choose like one last one to cut?
Yeah, it really does. It's probably one of the hardest jobs But I guess it's better than not having enough songs and then, trying to just writing crap to try to fill up an album. So yeah, it's better than that.
I guess the promotion of the album is this kind of zombie theme. Quite ironic, really, with all the COVID stuff going along. But I want to ask, who do you think would die first in a zombie apocalypse out of the band?
Geez, that's a good one. Probably me. I don't know. I'm not very handy. I'm not good with tools or cars or anything. I'm kind of hopeless at anything except playing guitar and singing. So I'd say it'd be me. I'd go first.
You've got a new member, Steve, on the bass. Can you talk to me about introducing him as part of the band? I know you guys toured with him since last year.
Yeah, so Steve's been kind of we met Steve a few years ago. So Steve and I met when he was in a band with our manager, Daniel, and I joined their band, Step Panther, pretty much when Hockey Dad was kind of starting off. So we met Steve there, and he's played bass on pretty much all of our records. He's been around just so we can track the record live. He'll come in and just play with us and figure it out and, have a couple ideas and chuck them in on the record. But for this album, I had some demos and had really specific bass lines that kind of stood out. And I kind of knew going into the studio, we're probably going to need a bass player to make these songs work live. So Steve came to the studio with us again, recorded the songs with us and, threw some more ideas in. And he helped us write a couple of the songs on the record this time. So, yeah, when it came to starting to play live, we did a tour of Canada at the end of last year. We were starting to play a few of the new songs, and that was his first tour with us. And just playing as a three-piece was so fun. It kind of let the pressure off me and Billy as well to we could, enjoy the gig a little bit more. The pressure was off us to not, hold everything together so much. So it was exciting for us to be able to sit back a little bit and play guitar. I could play guitar how I wanted to now. I don't have to worry about compensating for a bass sound, and I can just play whatever I want, which is really nice. And it's just been really fun. We can just have more fun on stage.
Yeah. During the first time he started touring you, did he have any bad habits that you noticed that were you got to sort this out, mate?
Well, not yet. I mean, we've only done the one tour with him. Really, we did this tour of Canada, but that was with DZ Death Rays and my friends, another Australian band, and we were all with one big tour bus. So it was a pretty intense tour for him to jump straight onto. But he passed with flying colours, and everybody fell in love with him, and everybody loves him now. Yeah, there's nothing really too bad. He's all right. I'm sure we have worse habits than him.
So he's not the messiest on tour. He wasn't the one who inspired Germaphobe.
No, he wasn't the messiest one. I remember one time though, we were in Thailand actually. Straight after we recorded the record in Seattle, we flew straight to Thailand to play a festival with June Rats. And we played the festival, and everyone was going home. I think me and Billy were staying for another couple of days, but the June Rats guys and Steve were all flying out that afternoon. And it got to about 3:00 in the afternoon, and everyone was had their bags packed in the lobby of the hotel waiting on the cab. And everyone's like, where the hell's Steve? No one knew where he was. He'd just gone walkabout in Thailand and not told anyone where he'd gone. So they're waiting to leave for the airport. The flight was leaving in an hour, and Steve was still just nowhere to be seen. So that's probably the worst thing that he does. He just goes off, just bails and doesn't tell anyone where he's going. But it was pretty funny.
I think if he's in Thailand, I don't think you guys want to know where he's been.
Yeah, that's it. I think he came back with a nice pair of sunglasses. I think he went shopping.
Going back to your album, what do you think the most fun song was to record?
For me, I reckon it was probably Doll Brother. That was the funnest one. I think that came, we wrote that kind of just on the fly in this little house. We had a couple of weeks in this house and just mucked around, played at all times of the night. Doll Brother was just this weird, stupid song that came out. And that's kind of always been my favorite, the funnest one for me to record and to play. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Do you reckon it'll turn into your favorite to play live as well if that time comes?
I think so. Yeah, we've been rehearsing for these drive-in shows that we were going to do, and yeah, we've been playing that one, and that's probably my favorite one to play live right now.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, I'm sorry to hear about the drive-in concerts having to be postponed, dude.
Yeah, I know it's unfortunate, but I mean that's 2020, isn't it? We've just copped it again. Yeah, at least we can do them again in October, and hopefully then it all goes off without a hitch.
How in-depth are you in organising this? I was reading the PR for it, and it was saying how the live feed of the concert is going to get transmitted through, like, car radios.
Yeah, I mean, I really have nothing to do with organising much of it. Like, logistically, pretty much the only thing I have to do is turn up and play the gig. So, but yeah, I think it's just going to be like FM, like the sound from the front of house sound of the band will just be transmitted through an FM frequency, just pretty much like a radio. So you just turn your car radio onto a certain frequency, and you're getting the sound from the gig.
And so you guys are like on stage and like screens showing everything and stuff as well, yeah?
Yeah, so we'd be on stage, big screens behind us, because I think we're playing to like a big showground with like 400 cars. So yeah, it'd just be like kind of like watching a movie, I guess. We have no idea. I've never been to one. I've never even been to a drive-in movie, so it's like this weird new experience.
Yeah, you're having to guess how they were like.
Yeah, I mean we've never been to a drive-in movie or a theater at all before, so it's all kind of just waiting to see what happens. We've seen like there's been some footage of ones that have gone down before, but even then, like who really knows until we all just turn up and start playing? Who knows what it's going to look like or sound like?
Yeah, like you can't even. I guess it'd be weird to like when you finish a song, you don't even know if people are clapping or not because they're in their car.
Yeah, it might be just like car horns or something, an applause of car horns.
Yeah. I'm sorry that the shows got postponed and stuff, and also all your Aussie shows as well got postponed to April, eh?
Yeah, so that we were going to be doing like a kind of a whole worldwide tour through about April through to June. But yeah, that all kind of had to get postponed, and we've just re-announced the Australian dates for April next year. And hopefully soon after that we can announce, some more dates overseas. But it's still super uncertain yet. We don't really know what we can do. So, but at least now we've got these Australian dates locked in, and hopefully it all goes through in April next year.
Yeah, well, I mean, looking at the numbers, I feel like New Zealand's probably easier to book than Victoria. Yeah,
I would say New Zealand will probably be the first place we come and play, if you guys have done so well. So yeah, we'll be over there as soon as we can, I reckon.
Yeah, like last time you were here was for Laneway, and you guys killed that set.
Yeah, that was a really fun one. That was like one of Steve's first big festival shows, so it was good. It was a perfect start for him.
Yeah, and I feel like Laneway, especially in terms of like Australian music, is almost like the home festival.
Yeah, we'd never done a Laneway. I'd never even been to a Laneway festival before we did that one, so it was like the perfect introduction. It was kind of one of the funnest festival runs I've ever done. Yeah, we all had such a good time, and the fact that we could go to New Zealand and play a festival there, and the New Zealand Laneway was so good, and we had such a good time.
Yeah. Something I want to talk about recently is you guys did an awesome cover of the Stone Roses for Manchester Covered. I know you guys have done a couple covers for like Triple J and stuff. What do you look for when you guys are choosing covers to do, and how do you guys change it up?
I guess we just kind of look for something that I guess kind of suits our sound. Like I think that cover was kind of happened pretty last minute, so we wanted to pick something not too difficult that we could kind of get done in a couple of days and then make it work. But yeah, like that one just had a decent groove in it, and the bass line on it was really fun. So we were just keen to try that one out.
Yeah, are you guys big into the kind of Manchester rock bands?
Well, like not really. I've never been like a huge Stone Roses fan. I've never really like got into it or anything or tried them out, so it was kind of good to open our eyes to some of that stuff and check it out, looking for a cool cover. And definitely found a couple of new bands and new songs that were
awesome. I guess my final question to you is, with your new album out, what do you really want your fans to get out of the album, and as a band, what are your goals for the album?
I guess fans are just maybe, like an hour escape from whatever you're trying to do, whatever's troubling you. Just kind of have an hour of enjoyment and just don't think about anything else and just listen to the record and just relax. That's kind of all you can ask for. And I guess the goal for us as a band is, just to do an album, just to record an album and have it out. Hopefully people like it. We enjoy the album, and I guess that's kind of the only goal, just make an album that we enjoyed making and had fun creating, and we like the end product. That's pretty much the only goal you can have when you're doing an album.